Hey guys, in this video we are going to analyze a multi-unit investment property. Actually, it's a 4-unit investment property that my wife and I bought yesterday in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. So hey there, my name is Brandon Yeager and I am a real estate agent and investor from Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania. And in this video, we're going to take a look and analyze a multi-unit investment property that my wife and I just picked up. And if any of you who know me know that actually 2019 was sort of a year of, I guess I call it culling the herd, where a lot of the investment properties that weren't a good long-term fit for my long-term portfolio, we sold those. Or if I just had properties where the tenants were giving me more problems than I really wanted to deal with, then we just kind of kicked them out and we sold the properties. We just decided to move on from those, and anything that was weighing negatively on me, we just purged that out of our life. So it was the last thing that I really was expecting to do, was to turn around and buy a 4-unit investment property. And actually, it's been quite a while since I've purchased a multi-unit investment property, but about 1 month ago, I was contacted by a gentleman, and he had some city code violations that the city was coming down on him pretty hard. Actually, they've been working on trying to get him to fix these code violations for about probably a year and 3 or 4 months, and it was getting to the point where he was probably either going to get a very, very large fine or he was going to have to go to jail. And I think he just got to the point where he wanted to cut his losses and be done with the property. And I do not have great pictures of the exterior. This is the front of the building, right here in this slide, and it does need some work. The code violations are rather significant. The two most costly items are going to be the interconnected smoke detection system, as well as the sidewalk and back patios need to be replaced, and it's a fairly significant amount of concrete. So. But that's the good news is those are pretty much the two biggest expenses, other than one of the units is currently vacant. So 3 units are vacant. And we're going to talk about the rents in a little more detail very shortly. But there is upside to be able to increase what's currently being produced by the property. So let me go ahead and switch over. Here's a picture of the back of the property. It kind of shows you how far back along the left-hand side, and then there's a little patio here that needs redone. There is a back porch that needs to have some work done. It needs some additional, some of the joists need resupported, and we need to re-pour some concrete posts, and it needs some joist hangers underneath there. So we're going to get in there and bring it all up to code. But anyway, let's switch back over here to the analysis of this. Let's take a look at the numbers. So over here, what we have is the different repairs that the city is looking to have complete on the property. And again, the biggest ones are going to be the sidewalk, and they need to have like a tactile pad put down for handicap usage going across the sidewalk. Some additional support hangers. The chimneys need to be repointed. There's 2 chimneys. It needs about 13 windows replaced. Needs some debris cleared out of the basement. Interconnected smoke detection system. So I had a rough quote from one company for about $13,500, and my electrician thinks he could do it for significantly less than that. So I kind of just used a middle of the road number of $10,000. And there is also a Knox box has to go on the front of the building, which it's actually like a key box for the local fire department so that they can access the building whenever there happens to be an emergency. And they're not cheap. I think they're probably about $350, $400, somewhere around there. I need to install some fire rated doors, and then we also have to renovate the one apartment in the back. Okay, so next, let's take a look at the cash flow projections and what I'm thinking we're going to be looking at for this investment property. Let's take a look at the hardcore numbers. So right now, there is 1 unit that's paying $725. There's one unit that's a Section 8 rental and it's paying $610 per month. And then there's one unit that's paying $475 per month. And my goal, okay, so actually that's where it's at right now. And then let's go over here and take a look at the expenses. So the expenses, there are pretty much all the utilities are paid by the landlord. So in this case, the gas is $206, the electric's $162, sewage is about $41, water $70, and then the garbage is $55, for a total of $534 for the utilities. The property taxes are about $125 per month, and then the insurance on the property, I got a quote, I think it was like $813 for the year, so that's $68 a month. The total expenses are $727 per month, and that is for all the utilities, taxes, and insurance, not counting a mortgage. The total expenses are $727, and that does not include property management, capital expenditures, anything along those lines, vacancies. It's just a straight up income and expense. And what I'm planning on doing is we're going to renovate the 4th unit. We're going to bring the property up to codes. We're going to renovate the 4th unit, and we are going to renovate and rent that 4th unit for $725 per month. It's right here in this bottom slot. So once we have that rented for $725 per month, we should have about $25-35 per month of income. And once I have those leases secured, we are going to turn around then and get a principal and interest loan at $65,000, about 5% interest over 10 years. The PI on that is $689 a month. So what I'm planning then is the cash flow with the mortgage, which is basically the income minus the total expenses and minus the $689 mortgage payment. It should be about $1,100 per month, which I think that's pretty good to have the 4-unit cash flowing with a mortgage, supposedly a little over $250 per unit. We'll see how the numbers all work out in the end. I'm interested to take a look at it a year and a half down the road and see where we're at. And I am planning on bringing you guys along on this journey as we go through getting this property brought up to rent ready and refinanced and see how the finances work out. But the cash flow with the mortgage is about $1,119, and if we did not have that mortgage and it was owned free and clear, it would be about $1,800 per month. Next, what we're going to do, and the plans are already in place for these 2 items. So what I wanted, the 2 greatest areas to increase revenue from that point is the $610 per month is a Section 8, and I'm going to talk about this in another video in a little more detail how this phone conversation went, but probably by around March or April, we're going to have that unit rented for $737 per month, hopefully to the same Section 8 tenant, and they're going to be paying the same amount of money. And then the $475 per month tenant, he's already been notified that we're going to be moving him out on April 30th, and we're going to start into the renovations on this right away on May 1st. And we're going to probably spend maybe $10,000 renovating his apartment, and then we're going to put it back up for rent. And I expect that we ought to be able to rent that for $725, and that would include all the utilities as well. So at that point, hopefully right around June 1st of 2020, I'm going to have a monthly income of about $2,912 per month. And with the mortgage, including a mortgage, I'm thinking our cash flow should be about $1,500 per month on this 4-unit investment property. And the nice thing is once we pay off that mortgage, which I'm hoping to accelerate the payments, and again, I'm going to go into this in a different video. I'm really into debt reduction and elimination mode right now with my investment portfolio. I want to have no debt, and I know that goes against not only some gurus but some of the things that I believe as well. And I believe that again, it's a whole different video. I believe that debt can be a very beneficial thing to help you grow your portfolio when used properly. But for my own sanity, I just want to own some properties free and clear right now. So the cash flow after that mortgage is paid off is going to be about $21.85 per month is what we're showing right now. Now this is where it gets very interesting. And I guess this is the power of multi-unit investment properties. And so I went through our local multi-list, and what I did is I wanted to figure out how are they valuing multi-unit properties. And what I discovered is the most of the multi-unit, basically they have their gross incomes. So they have gross income, and then they have their utilities, taxes, and insurance, and they come up with a net operating income. Very few of the listings tend to put in any type of a vacancy or other extra things beyond that expense wise. And then what I did is I went down and I looked through to see, okay, what are these properties selling for? These duplexes, 3 units, 4 units, what are they selling for? And what I discovered was actually it was fairly consistent. If I saw some really nice brick multi-unit properties, they were coming in right around the 6 to 8% return on investment. And other ones, I'd say for the most part, most of the multi-unit properties, if they were in decent shape, but not brick, they were probably pulling in about 10 to 12% return on investment. And what I mean by that is, let's say that it sold for $100,000. The net operating income was bringing in about $10,000 per year for a 10% ROI. And basically, again, that's the gross income minus the property taxes and insurance. And if there was any utilities the landlord paid, that was coming up with the net operating income that they were using. So that being said, what I wanted to do is I wanted to find out, okay, what do I think this property may be worth come June of 2020? Once we have all the rents all brought up to speed, and my best guess is it's somewhere in that 10 to 12% range. Just to kind of pick a medium of the road, I'm going to take a look at the 11% figure right now just to kind of go through with you guys. So once I get this 4th unit rented, which is going to be within the next 2 months, I should have a tenant in there paying $725 a month, while I still have my other 2 rents being at $610 and $475. I think I should have a building that's worth probably right around $197,000. And my investment at that point, and I completely have forgotten to give you guys this background. So the negotiation on how this deal came about, he was hoping to get about $30,000 to $35,000. And he met with me. I knew there was some motivation there, but I also knew that the building needed significant renovations to bring it up to code level and be able to satisfy the city of Greensburg as soon as possible. So, and also, I wasn't really looking for a multi-unit investment property. Anyway, long story short, I offered $17,000. He countered at $20,000, and I said, how about 18? And he said, that sounds good. So I bought the property for $18,000, and I think we're probably going to, let's say we're going to have about $45,000 worth of renovations. $46,000 is what I put in here to get the property up to code and get the back unit rented. And at that point, I should have about $64,000 into this property. I think it's going to be worth about $197,000, and the equity that I believe that we should have in the building is probably right around $133,000. Now, this is where it also gets a little bit crazy, and how small changes to your cash flow can greatly increase the value of the building whenever you look at it annualized ROI wise. So next, what I think we might be at by June of next year, these are the 4 rents right over here. Cash or monthly income of $29.12. The cash flow stream, if it was paid off, maybe about $21.85. And I think a value based off of what I've seen in the local market, what things are going for, might be about $238,000, which it seems crazy to me, but that's probably about $60,000 per unit. And even worst case, if it ends up only being worth $40,000 per unit, I still think that that's $160,000. That's a great return on investment. I'll probably have $60,000 into the building at that point in time and end up having about $100,000 of equity. So my play on this property, just to kind of summarize everything, I feel like I got a great deal on the 4-unit, and it does need some significant renovations, but nothing too crazy. It's not even as much as most of our flips that we do, and I think it's going to generate really strong cash flow, and I think it's also going to generate a lot of equity that maybe a year and a half, 2 years down the road, I can decide, do I want to continue to just have this cash flow, which that's definitely the course that I'm now moving towards. I want to be debt free, and I also want to increase my monthly cash flow to $20,000 per month, and I have a long way to go. Actually, most of my past has been focused on trying to generate chunks of cash through flipping and buying equity rich properties that are investment grade. Now I feel like I really want to start switching it over to generating cash flow. So we'll see how that all plays out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor. If you were on YouTube, if you could either hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, or do both, or if you were on my website, go down, leave a comment, let me know what you think. But most importantly, please subscribe to the newsletter. If you go to brandonyeager.com, you'll be able to see where you can subscribe to a newsletter, and there you will never miss any information that I'm trying to share, whether it's videos, whether it's blog posts, whether there's some type of an event coming up locally. Plus, I'm also going to give you for free my repair estimate cheat sheet, as well as my property inspection form that I use whenever I go to look at properties. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment. And again, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.